Was good. Was good. Was good. Yup, you niggas see the title. I don't know how many times I gotta say this shit. I'm gonna keep saying it because I I have to put the message out there. It needs to go to the subconscious. It needs to go to the subconscious of the people watching my video. That food is poison. So I'm gonna keep saying it. You guys need to understand food is poison. Food is fucking poison. Food is fucking poison. You technically don't even own food. If you look at it, you technically don't even own it because you got to go to the grocery store, you got to buy it. And if you want to grow, a lot of you dumb niggas, oh, I'm grow my food, I have a farm. Bitch, you got to pay taxes on that fucking farm. You know that, right? You got to pay taxes on it. Any type of land, you have to pay taxes on it. So you even need to pay taxes and even to grow food. And if you're not growing it, that means you have to get it from a grocery store, which somebody's paying taxes on that land to have the grocery store for you to go and buy it. Not to mention, if you had an EBT card and you committed what the government thinks is fraudulent, they can stop you from getting EBT, even though you don't even have money and you fit the eligibility to get it. So technically, you don't even own food. Why do you think they have Monsanto has all these patents on it? And if these farmers get caught growing something that like they have patented seeds, and if the farmers end up growing the seeds, I forgot how the fuck it goes, but if they grow the seeds, they have to give a certain amount of money to like fucking the people who patented it. It's not even the farmer's crop. Like if a farmer grows crops and he's selling it to like these supermarkets, he only can sell his fruit or his food if it has a certain seed in it that's like patented, like by Monsanto. If it's not patented and he wants to serve his own shit, he'll get his shit shut down. You guys do know that. So technically, you don't own food. Need I fucking go on? Why you think they raise the prices of inflation and then people are complaining about inflation? If you technically own the food, then there will be nobody complaining about inflation because you'll just go get your own food. Why are you complaining about the price of food if you can just go get your own? Obviously, you fucking can't because you're dependent on getting it from a fucking place. Dumbasses. So this is what I'm saying. Food is fucking poison. You don't own food. The best diet is no diet, and this is why I'm trying to be. This is not the reason, but this is one of the reasons I'm fucking a breatharian. Like that's what I'm telling you, niggas. Like you guys don't understand how deep this shit goes, because a lot of people are just so used to. Because the only reason people may look at me and say that what I'm saying is crazy. The only reason somebody will say what I'm saying is crazy, and keep this in mind, when somebody calls somebody crazy, that's calling me crazy, or somebody speaking like me crazy, the only reason that they will call them crazy is solely because they are lost in their animalistic desire to eat and consume. If that was out of the picture, like imagine, like look at it like this: you'll see a drug addict, and then you'll see somebody hating on a drug addict. Why are they hating on a drug addict? You don't see another drug addict hating on a drug addict because the drug addict knows how it feels because he's in that world. But you'll see a person who eats, who doesn't do drugs, hate on somebody who's a drug addict. But yet again, why don't they hate on somebody who's addicted to food or a drug addict for food? You know why? Because it's normalized to them because they're in that world. They don't know that they think they need food. They don't know that they can live without eating. And even though you see all these breatharianism out here and these people proving that you don't need it, they still are lost and will still rationalize because they're lost in their mind. So now I'm saying all food is poison, because we at a time right now where we gotta, like, it's not just with the food, but with all types, spiritual information, health, how the reality works, it just everything, astrology, all of the truth of it needs to come out. We can't have the bullshit just to make people tell people what they want to hear. Like, bitch, this ain't no fucking American Idol where everything's politically correct and you can't swear and everything. Like, this ain't that shit. We in a different time right now where you got to be real because is dire. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, most people are gonna die from a health issue. Like 95 to 98% of people are gonna die from a health issue. That is what's the word? That is what they call it, something. And not irreversible, but God damn it, what's that fucking word? It's like when you cause something, but it preventable. They're gonna die from preventable illnesses. Most people. This is why I went to where my old city at. They tore down a mall and they built a big ass fucking hospital. They're even talking about how they're gonna make all the Walgreens fucking HMOs or little doctor offices because they're anticipating for a lot of people to get sick and ill in the future. In the future, there's gonna be a big they call it the silver tsunami. It's gonna be a lot of old people. But when there's a lot of old people, there's a lot of illness. And don't you dumbasses think that they're gonna have fucking robots and AI and all that shit that's gonna help you. That's gonna be for rich people. And some of that shit won't even fucking work because the way the health in the body is, in order for them to, because they talk about everlasting life and healing forever. But most of that shit, they're going to be merging machines with humans. That's how they're going to try to extend their life, because they're going to be mixing machines with humans that have like a mechanical heart or arms. That's what's going to make them extend. It's not going to be like they're doing something to make the organs heal. And even if they do have that, that's just going to be hella fucking money. Only the rich people gonna have. Most people are already on that shit. So this is what I'm telling you, nigga. Like that's gonna be the main thing, and it's gonna be because of what people are eating, because they keep poisoning the food. Everything is poison. Like all this shit in the store. Why do you think the food doesn't taste the same as it did 10 years ago, 15 years ago? You niggas already know the food don't taste the same and it's smaller. That's because the food they're putting more poison and shit in it. So this is why I'm breatharian, and all you niggas that have any issue with it, I don't give a fuck anymore. Because one thing I'm realizing is this is why I don't even like I don't even really want to say that on this channel, because I'm a content creator, and certain things as a content creator you don't want to say because you kind of like pretty much putting that energy out to yourself. So I don't even want to say that shit. But so let's just skip that fucking topic. All I gotta say is like, nigga, you guys gotta recognize what's going on in this shit, because it's shit's about to get fucking real. Shit's about to get real. It's just so funny how I see people, they complain about all this shit like, oh, the inflation and oh my goodness, this and that, and why are the food prices? Like, shut your ass up. Nobody's telling you have to eat that shit. Go be breatharian, or if anything, eat less. Eat once a day or eat once every 2 days. If you can't do that, then to be honest, not everyone is built for this breatharian path. I'm not saying everybody has to be this and shit, because this is not meant for everyone. It's a spiritual calling. Like, you got to be built for this shit. Like, some of you niggas can do all the energy exercises and the breath work, and you may not be breatharian. Go look up Qigong. There's millions of fucking thousands of videos with millions of views about Qigong, but none of those niggas are breatharian. I'm not saying they don't get no benefit from Qigong, because they do, but you guys got to understand, like, this shit is deeper. It's a spiritual calling. So this shit ain't meant for everyone. But all I got to say is, like, if you're going to eat and you're going to consume, at least get your money up and be on a spiritual mission. Those are the only things I will say. If you want to continue not being a breatharian, because not everyone's built for it. But if you ain't a breatharian, you better get your fucking money up, and you better have a spiritual mission. Because there's some others, like there's a few content creators and spiritualists out there who they be speaking some game, and they be dropping a lot of jewels and knowledge, and they trying to wake up the people and do shit. They don't need to be breatharian because they're on a mission. So whatever happens to them, they already complete their shit. Me personally, this is my spiritual mission. Like, this is my mission. So if you're on a spiritual mission, I'm just saying do you. But if you're a regular sheep and you work a regular fucking bum ass job and you ain't shit, it'll be wise of you, and it'd be wise of you to look into breatharianism or anything of that matter, and consuming less, because at that point you're like, your life already ain't shit. So when you die, you're not gonna end up accomplishing or doing anything because you weren't on a spiritual mission. So you just gotta die and go to hell. And the hell means you're gonna come back here in a worse position. Because if you don't get it right, you come back in a worse position because you have to. Because if you couldn't get it right before, then what makes you think you're gonna get it right? So you have to make this next situation worse. Your spirit makes it worse so it can get your attention. Because if it didn't get your attention this time, then you're just gonna waste your time reincarnating and making the same dumbass mistake. So it has to be a little bit harder and tougher. This is why a lot of niggas are restricted in life and feel restricted, and they have to deal with all this bullshit that they don't want to deal with. Most of the time, that has to be because you incarnated too many times and you probably fucked around or had too much fun in a past life, and then you come in this life and you got to be on your shit. So a lot of things that you want, like, man, why couldn't I have this when I was young, or why can't I have that? But if you would have had that, it would have detracted you and you would have ended up in a fucked up position. So you have to be restricted from certain energies. So this all that's the meaning of going to hell. Going to hell, you went to hell, came back here in a worse situation. So if you somebody with no spiritual mission, you're just doing your thing, then you need to be fucking looking into this shit. You need to be taking first, you need to at least find your spiritual mission. If you're not doing that, you just living life, doing whatever, then you're gonna end up coming back in a worse position. Which is a lot of that's what's gonna happen to a large majority of the world. A lot of people are gonna die and end up having to come back in a fucked up position. He said, "What's good? What's good with it?" I'm about to drop the link for anybody who wants to come join in. But it's just crazy though. Shit is crazy. Yeah, there's the link if anybody wants to join. Got any problems what I gotta say? You want to build? Feel free. But I'm just telling it how it is. But you don't like no one like, and that's what thing I realized. Like, I don't even like to give people like the only time I give people advice is on my channel. Like, because it's my channel, I make my videos. But in real life, I don't give anybody advice. Especially like I told you guys, once Saturn went into Pisces, that sealed the fate for the consciousness of humanity. Everybody is done. Like, there's no waking anybody up. I'm not saying people can't wake up, but anybody that wakes up from here on out, it has to be from their own accord. They want to wake up. But in terms of like the information out there, and because the knowledge is out there, the knowledge on how to get healthy, the knowledge on how to get rich, the knowledge on how to fucking do whatever you want to do is on the internet. You want to be a fucking locksmith, you can look it up. Every knowledge is out there. The reason the world is fucked up right now is because people can't get out of their desires, and people are traumatized, and people are so angry and in their emotions that it's like they can't see the fucking truth. It's like even when you see some of these content creators, a lot of them they're so traumatized from. I'm talking about these big content creators. They're so traumatized by their audience because they've been trolled so much. They've been fucking made fun of, and people always probably said some shit in the comment that triggered them. So now when somebody comes with a respectful comment, they'll get upset at that. Like, you guys peep this out. Like, I noticed when you see a lot of these YouTubers who got big followings, what will happen is you'll see somebody come and be like, hey, maybe you should do this, this, and this. And then they'll be like, fuck you, nigga, get the fuck off my page, you bitch ass nigga, you ain't shit. And they get all hype and they got all that energy, right? But then somebody will go and leave a comment, be like, fuck your dumbass mother, your mother ain't shit, your channel is trash. They'll be like, look at the negative energy, look at the demon. You just gotta like ignore him. Like, shut your ass up, nigga. You know that shit fucking hurt the fuck out of you. You just want to make it look like. That's all these niggas are. It's all fake. That's why I'm like, niggas is all fake. Because they don't want to show people shit. But in somebody like me who can actually look beyond the veil, I can see you're actually hurt by that comment. You just don't want that troll to make it look like you hurt. This is why when I piss people off and when I talk my shit, I don't come blatantly how people think. I look at an individual and I see they triggers. If I see some bitch and I know she got relationship problems with some dude, and I'm trying to geese out on her, talk shit, I'll be making fun of them. Oh, bitch, you about to get divorced. Your kids ain't shit. That's gonna trigger them. I'm not gonna come at the bitch like, oh, because you gotta know how to tap into the mind and tap into somebody's triggers to piss them off. Because that's how it is. So you can see this shit across the board. And that's why I don't even take a lot of these motherfuckers on this shit serious, to be honest. Like, at the end of the day, what I can tell you is take the information and go. Take what you can and go. Don't be so enamored and shit, because people ain't shit really at the end of the fucking day. Like, people really ain't shit. And I'm not perfect. Like, there's sometimes that I'm not perfect. But at the same time, like, I don't give a fuck though. Other people, they actually give a fuck and they actually think they're perfect and they're lost in their own delusion. Like any problem I have, I'm intelligent enough to go in closed doors. I know I have an issue and I know how to deal with it. There's some people that's so in the ego, even behind closed doors, they don't even think they have a problem. So that's the most dangerous person. This shit is crazy. But all I gotta say is, nigga, just don't give no one advice no more. Just do you. Don't even. I don't even like to. I even when it comes to family, I don't even really communicate with my family as much nowadays, like that. But I don't even like speaking like that because I remember there was a time I used to talk about like spiritual shit to like people in my family, and they will be like all on it and get it, but then I'll go do something, and then months later I'll see them, and then they'll be talking about how I'm scared, and I was scared in a dream, and I was saying the Hail Mary or some dumbass shit, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I can't. Then and they'll bring up one way you can tell if a motherfucker's real is you never know a motherfucker unless you've been through some trauma, unless you've seen them go through trauma and you've been with them. Never say a nigga's your friend unless you've been with them and they've been traumatized or you've been into a situation where there was some trauma. Like if both of you niggas got in a robbery and you guys got robbed together, or both of you niggas went and were broke and homeless on the street together, or if you haven't been through a negative situation with a homie like that or somebody like that, then they ain't shit really. You don't know who they are, because if you're only in a good situation, then you can't fully obtain who that person is. You can't know what they are because you guys only been in a good fucking positive situation. So you have to go through in a negative situation to really understand somebody. I'm not saying don't deal with somebody unless you've been on a negative situation. This is why I'm so glad I have Venus in the 6th house. Because I have Venus in the 6th house. So I give a fuck. Like, if a bitch is out here and she wants to do something more than just fuck, you got to bring something to the table. Otherwise, I don't fuck with you. Just because I care about you. Just because there needs to be substance. Because if somebody just comes up into your life and says, oh, I love you, I care about you, and they don't have nothing that's built on a foundation, like you guys weren't building nothing together, it was no type of energy exchange where something besides the love and the relationship is going on besides that. If there isn't anything like that, then it's fake. This is how a lot of these niggas, they go out there and then they'll go be with some bitch, and the bitch says she cares about the dude, and then months later some shit happens where they ain't with the bitch no more. And I'm like, why would you just be with a bitch and there's nothing that she's bringing you? And a lot of you guys may be like, oh, I'm supposed to be with females. Yeah, you can't be with females. Fuck them and leave them. The fuck? Well, if you want a relationship is a business. A relationship, and it doesn't mean like the bitch has to have her own business or whatever, nothing like that. It could be, but it has to be where if you have your business and she's in their fucking life, then she has to be building you up or helping you or bringing some to the table, not just draining you. And like, you see what I'm saying? That's why I'm so glad I have Venus and Mars in the 6th house, because like I look at all my shit like that, like what's something that you can bring to me? If you can't bring shit, I can't even fucking be around you if you ain't bringing shit. That's just the person I am. That's how a lot of niggas get fucked over, and then they get backstabbed and all this other shit because they fucking with people who like you ain't. And I'm not saying you can't get backstabbed by someone, because think about it like this: I'd rather get backstabbed and get in an argument with somebody I was building something with than somebody who I wasn't building shit with. Because at least if you built something with somebody, at least you accomplished something and you got in an argument. Compared to you got in an argument and you went through all this drama, and the nigga or the bitch wasn't shit. They were just in your life on the basis of some friend shit. Like, get the fuck out of here with that stupid ass shit. That's why, like, I don't like. It's weird. That's why I don't even deal with motherfuckers like that unless you got something to offer or bring me. I don't deal with people like that. And it's not no like, because a lot of niggas might think like, oh, you got to bring something. That's what I'm talking about. If I don't have nothing to give to somebody and they got something to give to me, I don't even want to fuck with them. Because if I fuck with them, I'm gonna end up a vampire, and I'm gonna end up taking their shit and using it and bouncing. So that's going to put me in a negative energy. So you have to first get yourself right so you can have something to exchange, and then they can have something to exchange. I'm not saying they got to bring something. I don't bring none, because if I don't bring shit, nigga, that means I don't need to be around somebody with shit. Otherwise, that's going to be vampiric. That's what the whole vampire, because somebody who don't got shit, somebody who doesn't, and you got to drain it. Even if it looks like you're just friends and shit, it's still going to act vampiric. That's why when you guys go, so when you, any of you guys, when you get your money up, when you get, anytime you reach a new level, whether it be health wise, financially, spiritually, you have to cut off certain people in your life. Not just because fucking every goddamn content creator and YouTuber is saying that dumb shit. You got to do it because it's got to fuck up your energy. Like if you're a millionaire, you got money, or you're in a vibration where you're making a lot of money, you can't hang around somebody who doesn't have money. Even if it's your friend, your family. A lot of you niggas may say, oh, if I had money, I'll bring my family to help me. And you can't do that shit. You have to go into and make a different world. You can still be cool with your family, help them out with money and stuff, but you can't be like, I'm gonna bring my I want to have my cousin to be my driver. No, you got to go get a fucking driver who specializes in driving people with money. Because what happens if you don't do that is you're bringing people who don't have that same frequency of wealth and abundance and prosperity. You're bringing them into your energy field and into your world. So now the people, if the world, let's say all the people you're hanging with that you got business deals with and you're making money, if you bring a nigga who doesn't have money, who doesn't have that frequency, and you just bring him in there, it's gonna fuck with your I don't want to say manifestation, but it's gonna fuck with your how you get money, because they're broke for a reason. You went to do the work and did it. If you do the work and then you just go and bring them along, it's kind of like a shortcut, and they're cheating and getting, and it's gonna play out as in your money's gonna fuck up, and the money you have is gonna dwindle, and then they're gonna be wanting shit from you, and so you can't do that. I'm not saying you gotta like leave people and not ever speak to them, but you gotta keep family with family, money with money. Unless the people in your family or the people in your friend group, they got money and they're on your level, then at that point it'll be like I was talking about before, because they are on that frequency. So you got to know what's going on. You can't just, this is why when I say what I say is I'm not being fucked up, because I'm not trying to be a vampire. So if I don't have nothing to offer somebody, there's no way, there's no business I have being around the motherfucker. Otherwise, I'm gonna be vampiric, and if I be vampiric, then that's gonna make me have negative energy. So when I get in a position, I'm gonna be vampire. Somebody's gonna be a vampire to me. So you guys gotta understand what the fuck is going on. Like it's all about frequency. Even with the whole breatharian thing, once you start being breatharian, you gotta get away from people who will eat. You gotta get away. You gotta get people who probably eat less, liquidarian, fruitarian, breath. Hang out with people who are on that frequency. Because if you don't, you're gonna be in a fucking world, and then like it may not play out as you going back to eat, but it may play out as in fucking like you not being able to. I hate to use this word, but manifest. You won't be able to attract what you need because you got all this bullshit that's in your reality, in your world, and it's blocking you. So now all the objects within the reality that shape and form to give you the situation you want, it's going to have a hard time doing that because it has a lot of blockages, such as people who ain't shit. So now if somebody was supposed something, if let's just say, for example, it's a dumb example, but let's say money was dropped on the ground and you had a frequency to have abundance, and money just dropped on the fucking ground and you found money. If you're around somebody who's broken in a situation who people ain't shit, the odds of that happening is very slim. So you guys gotta understand, like, look at it like that, and not just with money. This is with everything. Yeah, a lot of people's frequency can fuck you up. That's why you gotta learn to like, you gotta learn how to differentiate and piece out like who you want around your circle. Like this is why like me personally, I don't like, I'm not the type of person who I need friends. I've never really been that type of person who needs friends and shit like that. Cause me, it's not that I don't want to make you guys think like, oh, I'm the type of person who I hate everyone and I don't know. Like if I can meet people that are like-minded and on a certain frequency, then that's good. But in this world, that's very rare. Even if you are on a certain frequency of like making money. So in some cases, even if you are making money, still that's all you can do with that individual is make money. You can't even be cool. Like it's different levels to it. So let's just say you're on a path of frequency and abundance, and you're around people who are about business. In some cases, you can only talk to those niggas about money and business. As soon as money and business is done, you got to get them the fuck out your life because they're bots. But you need them to help you with your path. So like that's how I see it. It's all like you gotta use your common sense. But like I said, nigga, like you guys gotta stop eating this bullshit. Food is poison, and you gonna know one day. Just wait. As society keeps going, you guys eventually you guys gotta want to do what I'm doing, because all the food out there that you guys think you like, you ain't gonna like no more, because it's not gonna even taste the same. It ain't gonna even be the same. They're already telling you 3D printed food. What the fuck you think 3D printed food is? You think 3D printed food is the same thing as the food you're eating now? No, it doesn't work like that. Because if that was the case, why don't they just 3D print the food right now or 10 years ago? Why don't they just do that? Why do they come out with 3D printed food? It's obviously something that has nothing to do with this type of food. 3D printed food is nothing but a bunch of chemicals they make, because just like they have like artificial sweetener and all these chemicals they put in like Starburst and all these candies to give it flavor, the 3D printed is like a higher technology of that. So it's going to even be more advanced. So they're going to be able to make the food. They're going to be able to get shit that has nothing to do with it. Like even when you look at certain candies and sweets, they use wheat. They may use bread. They may use, even honey buns is unhealthy, but they use wheat. They use bread. And it's just a whole bunch of chemicals. When you talk about 3D printed food, it has none of that shit. It's just straight chemicals. And it's made to taste like what it is. Like they'll probably make some fucking soy plant and some other shit. Because just because it's plants doesn't mean it's healthy. That's another thing. They'll say, oh, plant-based. Plant doesn't mean it's fucking healthy. Heroin is a fucking plant. Is that healthy? Are you going to go eat a heroin? Are you going to get the opium poppy plant, the leaf of the poppy plant, the heroin opium, and grind that up and put it on your burger and say, I'm eating a plant-based burger? You're not going to fucking do that shit because it's stupid. It's unhealthy. You're not going to chew the coca leaf, or because the coca leaf could get you buzzed. That's the niggas, they chew the coca leaf and it gives them a buzz. That's a plant. So plant-based don't mean shit. So don't get fooled by, oh, it's plant-based. If anything, most cases, plant-based is actually worse because they have to put more chemicals in it to give it that taste. Because if they don't put a lot of chemicals, it ends up tasting like shit. That's why some of the plant-based shit, it smells like crap. When you cook it, it stinks. It doesn't even smell good. It's only some, because some companies, they got it down pack where they could probably make it seem a little bit more real. But then you go some, like, remember that Beyond Burger? Everybody was eating that shit. Whatever happened to it? It's because this shit it's off. You see what I'm saying? It disappeared because nobody really fucked with it. They just marketed it and spent millions of dollars marketing it, and that was when you guys were seeing the whole the craze of the Beyond Meat. The only reason you guys seen a lot of that shit was because they spent millions of dollars marketing it. That fucking company, I think, went bankrupt or some shit, or they weren't doing good because nobody was eating that crap. Because in the beginning, people were trying it, and then like even the shit that people were trying was the ones that were at like Burger King or like McDonald's or like the places that have fast food. As far as the Beyond Meat and the grocery stores and the regulars, nobody was fucking with that shit. The only reason it was popular is because of the fast food. And then when they make fast food, they have to add more different chemicals to the fast food than they did at the grocery store. So the Beyond Burger at the Burger King, it tasted different than the shit at the grocery store. That's why people were eating that shit. It's like, oh, it tastes like a burger. That's because they probably had real meat in it, or they probably put some type of chemical to make it taste more real because it's a fast food place. They got to make their profits, and it's more like they want to sell it compared to a grocery store. So you guys need to understand that. Just because it's plant-based doesn't mean fucking shit. It's crazy how a lot of people that read, oh, it's plant-based, is healthy. When I see plant-based, I actually want to get the fuck far away from it. In some cases, eating a regular organic beef burger, in some cases, even non-organic, that's just more healthy than a fucking plant-based. Because you're eating so much chemicals, man. Like, that shit has so much chemicals. This shit is not. So imagine when they come out with the 3D printed food. And it's going to be 3D printed everything. Because pretty soon, this is what I'm thinking is gonna happen. I'm not. Don't take my word for it, but all this shit you see with the economy and everything is gonna keep getting worse until eventually you're gonna start seeing some of the food disappear from the shelves. You're gonna start seeing different things. Like I remember I seen an article 5 years ago. They said by 2030, chocolate is gonna be extinct, or there's not gonna be no more chocolate. It's not that there's not gonna be no more chocolate because this is a fucking planet. There's always gonna be chocolate growing if you know how to grow it and you have the shit to grow it. What they're saying is because of the trade issues that are gonna be happening nationwide. I mean, yeah, nationwide and around the world is gonna be a lot of places aren't gonna be shipping shit to America, and things are gonna get more expensive. A lot of things are happening behind the closed doors that they're not telling you. This is why the pandemic shit happened. This is why things are getting more fucking high in price and everything. Soon it's gonna have to be a remedy to that, and they're gonna bring out 3D printing, and they're gonna use 3D printing to make clothing, to make fucking everything that they can make. Like they want to make a car, they make 3D printed just so they can. They're gonna introduce that shit as in a solution to all this like economic problem, because there's gonna be literally nothing on the fucking shelves eventually. And it's going to be because countries aren't going to be sending shit to the US like that. I'm not really too schooled in that, but what I'm getting is going to be like pretty much like pretty soon they're not going to be shipping shit from China no more. So the US and all these other countries who are depending on that are going to have to find other ways to make it. And then that's where 3D printing. Think about it. Why don't they just bring out 3D printing right now? Why don't they just bring out AI right now? Why do they talk about, oh, this is going to come, or digital currency is gonna come, or why don't you just bring it out fucking right now? Why do I gotta talk about it and keep telling you it's coming, or 2030 agenda? That's a hint and proof of what I'm telling you. Something. The reason I don't bring it out now is because it hasn't gotten that bad yet. But when it gets that bad, that's when they're gonna bring it out. Why bring it out right now if it hasn't even got that bad? Why bring out 3D printing? Like, you guys think they bring this shit out just so they can be innovative and cool and it's technology? The fuck? They don't give a fuck about that shit. They had 3D printing thousands of years ago. They had fucking all these satellites hundreds of years ago. I don't want to say thousands, but hundreds of years ago. They had probably even thousands, but they had these all the technology you see they've been had. Bitcoin, Bitcoin was been in the fucking 30s. They had Bitcoin and shit. The internet's been out since fucking the 30s and before that. How do you think all these cities like New York City? Go look at a video of New York City in the 30s. You're gonna tell me that they designed and constructed that whole city and there wasn't some type of like Bitcoin or internet behind the scenes? Like, they were able to construct that whole. If you watch King Kong, New York City back in the 30s, or you see like videos of New York City or back in the 30s, how they were living, 50s, the way society was structured and built, they had to have some type of technology behind the scenes to construct that. You see what I'm saying? So it just proves what I'm saying. They had all this fucking shit. So I don't see why people don't like, they think that this shit's supposed to be innovative. Oh, it's innovative. Oh, this is some new shit that they're dropping. Like, why don't they just do it right now? It's because they're waiting for the time to do it. The fuck? There ain't no such thing as no fucking future. All these dumb, the future. Why do you think they put movies like Star Wars, and they have the game Cyberpunk, and then what other movies did they got? They fucking got like all these futuristic movies and shit. They show you like a glimpse of the future. Like, why do you think they have all that? Just to get you programmed and thinking that it's a future. There ain't no fucking future. The future is right now. The fuck? They just release it when it's convenient. Just like they released a credit card back in the 80s. It's the same thing with the Bitcoin. They have to update the system based upon the time. They could have released a credit card in the 60s or the 70s. Why not? Because it wasn't the time, based upon where they want their agenda and even the astrological placements. Because that's another thing, that based on the astrological placements, they're going to do, like, for example, right now, Saturn and Neptune is in Pisces right now. And so right now, they're going to do certain programs. Once Saturn and Neptune get into Aries, and Saturn conjuncts Aries, or Saturn conjuncts Neptune in Aries, which is like be 2026, then they may do some other programs. They may actually have a full-out war where niggas are gonna, if you in an army, or if you, they're probably, because they're gonna have another war. As long as this system exists, there's gonna be another war. But they have to do it at a certain time astrologically so they can really get the energy of whatever they're trying to fucking do. They're not gonna just do it when they feel like it. Like, you see what I'm saying? So this same with the 3D printing, all this shit, the fact that they told you that, oh, we have 3D printing, The fact that they told you, oh, we have digital currency means it's already set. It's already done. It's waiting for a time for them to get it. And then once they get it, once the astrological lines up and certain shit plays out, then they're gonna release it. Just like with the pandemic thing. Why all of a sudden, right when the pandemic shit happened, it happened at a certain time. If you look at it, if you even knew certain things, like the way when it happened wasn't no fucking coincidence. And I remember there were people in a whole bunch of the whole fucking spiritual community was talking about 2020, something's happening, 2020, something's happening. But they weren't just saying that because they fucking felt like it. They said that shit because based on the astrological alignments, because Saturn was in Capricorn. So that's when the whole fucking pandemic thing happened, when Saturn was in Capricorn. Because what I'm telling you, Saturn was in Capricorn. When Saturn's in Capricorn, Aries or Libra, that's when you're going to see a lot of change. There may be other ones, but I know Libra, Aries, and Capricorn, you'll see the system gets an update. It's some weird shit. When it was in Capricorn, pandemic. When it was in fucking Libra, that's when 2012, 2011, that's when the reality shifted. So the world as it is right now is the same as it started in 2012. Before 2012, we were in a different world. I'm not saying we didn't have shifts because we go through minor shifts, but the last biggest shift we had was in 2012. That was a lie. Yeah, we went through one in 2020, but that wasn't as big as the one in 2012. Because the one in 2012 it was like the world changed. The social media, as you know, what it is today. The whole likes, posting, comment, even though it was before, but it had a certain. Even the word trolling, that word came out around 2010, 2011, around when Saturn was in Libra. That word trolling, because a lot of these words, a lot of these memes you see, and these little hip words, even when you see shit like that's a difference deeper. But when you see all these lingos and these words, like even when you talk about gang stalk, you hear niggas say, "Oh, it's the neuromoderning, it's the waves," and they use all these lingos and shit. That shit comes from somewhere. Remember, I told you there's the people that are in a base. They're in a base, and they pay these people money to push shit on the internet. So if there's a meme or if there's something popular, then they push that shit out. And then they put lingos like these words you hear like loosh, it means energy. Somebody created that word. The government and the system, they create these words and they push it on the internet to give people talking. So the people use certain words like loosh, or they may say, like they just push the way the shit is, the agenda, or the way they want people talking. So when 2012 came, that really changed even the word troll. That word didn't just come up because somebody made it. How the fuck you think everybody knows the word and uses the word? Nobody used the word troll in 2008. That shit didn't come up to around 2011, 2012. That was the first time I seen that word. Because I remember somebody was like, "Oh, you're a troll." And I'm like, "What the fuck is troll?" And it was late 2011. I had to look up the definition. Oh, troll is somebody talk shit on the internet. That's when it came out. And then that's when 2012 hit. That's when the social media updated and everything as it is now, it is today. Yeah, there's been other shifts between 2012 and now, but that was the last major big shift was in 2012 when everything as it is today is. So now that was in Libra. So now we're going into Saturn and Aries, which when Saturn and Neptune get into Aries, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a full-out war. All this shit you see going on with this fucking Islamic shit, they probably might go on a full-blown war with that shit, because they're gonna do another war. That's not a if and or, but they're gonna do it unless people wake up and just realize what the fuck's going on. There's gonna be another war. There's always gonna be. They have to. Eventually, they're gonna probably even do a little fake ass war with like aliens or some shit and try to say, "Oh, some aliens," and what they'll probably do is like say, "Oh, this group of terrorists in Afghanistan have connection to these alien forces, and this alien has some type of pandemic thing, and it's gonna hurt." Like, and then now's another war, and you're fighting, and then they're gonna switch everything up, probably even like update like that. Even when you see Call of Duty, go play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Go look at all the guns and look at all the technology. Go on YouTube, type in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Every single gun, every single thing they have, because that game was take place in 2043. Every single gun, they have a prototype and a blueprint that they already made. So they had a gun that prints 3D bullets. Remember I talk about 3D? So all that shit's already like set. You can fucking easily like, that's why they put a lot of these movies out. Because when you watch some of these movies that are in the future, like go play Cyberpunk 2077. The way that shit is designed, because I played that little bit of that shit. And I'm looking at the way everything is designed, and then they had the dude, he was talking to you, and you had to go run errands for him and shit. And he had like a mechanical arm, and like the way, and I'm looking at the arm and how it was designed and how they're even explaining how the technology. I'm like, there's no way in hell they just made this shit up out of their fucking mind. There's no way in hell. They have to have because they already have it. Because all the technology they released, they already been had. So they have it. It's just they got to release it at a certain time. So they put all this shit out here so that you can think this is the future. That's not the future. That's just the next updated version. So when you see a game like Cyberpunk or you see some Star Wars and they show them in a fucking futuristic city, that's just the next update that they're gonna. It's an updated Matrix version of this. Just like we have now, the 50s don't look the same as right now, do they? The 50s are different. The 90s fucking look kind of different. Like you think about it, cars look different. So they already have the blueprint. They just bring it in because it plays into the program, and then they release the movies to add on to it to make you like, it's like predictive programming. Like you already seen it, and it's like the fuck. Like they had Donald Trump as president in Simpsons, and then he ended up being like, it's some shit kind of like that. So like, shit is crazy. I don't know how people don't see it. Like I see this shit like from a mile away. I'm like, I don't know how nobody fucking sees this shit. And then they try to talk about all this AI, artificial intelligence, like AI is anytime you hear somebody say AI is going to take over the world or AI has a potential to take over the world, they're full of shit. Full of fucking shit. Saying AI could take over the world is pretty much saying that your microwave can fry you and kill you from excessive heat. The only way a microwave is going to fry me or kill me from excessive heat is if I fucking put my ass in that bitch. If I don't put my ass in it and I know how to operate it, there's no way in hell. It's impossible for a microwave unless I push a button and it just blows up or some shit. But in terms of, oh, the microwave, it's heat, because a microwave is artificial intelligence. You heat fucking food with a microwave. You can heat food with a fire, which is you have to light the fire and put wood. Artificial intelligence, put in a microwave, does it for you. How the fuck can a microwave kill me unless I get in it? So if the only way it can do it is somebody is operating or hacking the microwave, and then they make the microwave walk up to me and put me in there. But at that point, it ain't because it's AI. It's because somebody fucking did it. So anytime you see AI, oh, AI is going to come and take over the world, or that's just another agenda, because what they're going to do is probably stage an event. This is why they have movies like iRobot. They're going to stage an event where it's going to be like, oh, AI is it's controlling it. This because they're gonna probably make it where a robot comes and kills a human being. They're gonna do that once they release AI and the police bots and all that. They're gonna have a scenario just like they have the police shootings. They're gonna have a robot killings, and then they're gonna be, oh, we couldn't control the robot. When in reality they could control the robot. They just don't want to. Then eventually it probably go on to where an AI is gonna be running a CEO corporation, or an AI is gonna be running the government. But it's really not going to be the AI doing it. There is going to be somebody else behind it. But then when the AI and the robot does some fuck shit, like kills a child or some shit, whatever people get upset about, the AI does that, then what's going to happen is they're going to say, oh, it was the AI, we don't have control. But in reality, they do have control. They're just taking it up a notch. So don't believe any of that AI shit, because how can you build the AI and not fucking, and it control? It doesn't make sense. Like, because the AI is only programmed what it can do. So if an AI kills you, that means somebody programmed it to kill you. Are you scared that your computer is gonna come and type up a porn site, that you don't type up some gay porn and pop it on your screen? You're not scared, because you know the only way that can happen is if a hacker does it or you fucking type it. You're not scared that your fucking computer just gonna come up with some porn that you didn't fucking watch. There's no way, unless somebody's doing it from an external location. The fuck? So I don't see why people think AI is anything different. That shit is just programmed to do what it's been told. And if any AI takes over the world or kills anybody, just know that it's because the government allowed it and they're controlling it behind closed doors. Because if that was the case, why don't the AI just go and take out the government? Watch this. It's gonna be funny. The AI is gonna come and kill everybody. Oh, we can't control AI, but coincidentally, the AI just goes to the hood. Coincidentally, the AI goes to everybody's house, but all the politicians' house. It goes to everybody's house but the rich people's house. Get the fuck out of here. Some fake ass shit. Just like they talk about, oh, defund the police. Ain't no fucking police were defunded. If police was defunded, there would be no cops on the street. It'd be a fucking purge. Go out and shoot somebody and see how much they gonna be on your ass. Ain't no police to fund it, you dumbass. People just are fucking. They just like to talk they stupid shit, and it's just this shit is funny, man. Like I'm like, and like niggas don't even they don't even know what they're even talking about when they speak about this. Like they just don't. They get all their information from an external media like the news or CNN, and then they will talk shit about how the CNN is telling fake news and how they want our children to be whatever, and but then they're going to believe it when it fits their convenience. Just like I remember everybody and their mother when that 2020 happened, man. That right there, like I know you guys were here too. Like you guys seen it. It's like everybody that you thought was like against the shit was like backing it up. And I'm like, you wouldn't even know what the fuck. A lot of these stupid, incompetent fucks didn't even know what a virus was, let alone that shit that they were telling us. Like everybody was a fucking expert at everything. And it's like you didn't even have that in your comprehension. Like back in 6 months before this shit happened in March. You didn't even have that in your comprehension. Now everybody, oh, like they act like they know. But it's like, bitch, everything that came out your mouth was from what CNN told you. And it's funny because I be seeing a lot of these fucking Asian people and shit. They be saying like, I remember around that time they were like, oh, everybody's attacking us because of the thing. And I'm like, so what are you talking about? Like, first I'll be like, do you believe in it? And be like, yeah, well, I do. Okay, well, why are you mad that people are attacking you? Because based upon the narrative, that shit came from China. If I believe that shit, if I believed it, I would not fucking touch a motherfucking Chinese motherfucker. I would say, get the fuck away from me. But since I already know it, I don't believe it. So I'm like, so how can you get mad at them, you stupid dumbass? If the narrative of what the news said, if the news said these people have, it came from this people's country, I'm not going to want to deal with those people. Dumbass. So how can you get mad if people are doing it, but yet your stupid ass believes in it? See, these people are fucking stupid, man. Now you guys see why I can get real disrespectful. And then they want to get on you. Like I remember some stupid Asian bitch came at me talking about, oh, where's your mask? And I'm in my mind, I'm like I was about to cuss that bitch. I'd be like, I was about to play along with it and be like, bitch, get the fuck away from me. You got that shit. I was about to say that, but I was like, I'm not even gonna entertain that shit because that's just gonna feed more into that bitch's programming, and I'm not trying to get people more lost. So I just was like, get the fuck out of my face. Like that's the thing that baffled me though. How people will get upset and shit. And then when you say that, oh, Asian people eat bats and eat dogs, they get upset and angry. It was like, motherfucker, the same narrative that people got that from was the same narrative you just got it from. That you got why you believe in this shit. That shit's craziness. But like I said though, I'm straight. I'm done eating food. I ain't eating no more food. I'm done with that shit. Like I'm about to go on day 2, and I'm feeling like actually really good right now. Like I don't even need food no more. And it's weird because before I started this fast, like you remember I used to show you guys I used to go to the taco truck all the time. And that was like the only thing I used to really fuck with. That was like my only thing I was really eating. Like when I went to go eat junk food or just spoil myself, whatever, I used to just go to the taco truck and get me like tacos or whatever. But I remember the last time I went to the same place, and it was only, and it's weird because it was like a process. Like years ago, I used to be able to eat damn near any place, any tacos. Because I used to like, every time I ate Mexican food, I always went to the trucks because they make the best food. But I noticed like, there was only like the last fucking like 6 months, I was only able to go like to 2 trucks, and that's it. And because the way they made the food, and like it was like a week ago when I went, they didn't even make the food good. And I was about to take it back, but then I was like, no, it has nothing to do with the food because I had to recognize what was going on. I'm like, my taste buds is changing because this is the same thing that happened to me with other food that I used to like. And it's like, I can't even eat that shit no more. So like this point, like I can't eat nothing. Like I literally can't eat anything. Like I'm not saying I can't eat anything. I eat fruit, vegetables, but the shit that I can eat is not really like, it's not even really worth it. It's like I might as well just be breatharian. Like why the fuck am I gonna eat some fucking plain ass? Well, I'm gonna go drink some plain ass water, eat some plain ass fruit. If I could be breatharian, if I'm gonna eat something, I'd rather eat junk food or something good. But yeah, that shit don't even taste good anymore. So why? Might as well just be breatharian. That's what I'm saying. Like if I'm and people say, oh, what about when you break your fast? If I break my fast, like motherfuckers like, oh, what are you gonna drink and eat when you break your fast and when you eat? Because I'm not full breatharian. I'm like, if I break my fast, I'm about to eat whatever the fuck I want to eat. Like if I'm gonna go drink something, I'm gonna go drink me a motherfucking soda or have me an icy. Why the fuck I'm gonna go break my fast and drink me some fucking water? At that point, I might as well not even break my fast. But if I'm gonna break it, at least eat break it on something I'm gonna enjoy, and eventually I won't even like that shit. And then at that point, I'll just get rid of everything because there ain't no point in eating shit. You see what I mean? Because when you fast, you're supposed to. The more you do it, you get to a point where you don't like food. Like I remember I said in a video that a breatharian can eat when they eat out of the enjoyment, the experience. That's a certain level, but once you get to a certain level, then you don't even want that shit no more. Like you're supposed to get to a point where you don't want that shit. It's poison to you, and that shit tastes like shit. That's what you're supposed to get because it's like the best example is when you see a dog eating a deer or when you see a wolf eating a deer. Do you think that is appetizing? No, you don't think it's appetizing. But why don't you think it's appetizing? Because you have a more elevated consciousness in mind. You're in a different body because where the mind goes, the body goes. So your mind is more higher level. So you created a human body. So therefore, it doesn't. Your mind can't even fathom eating that shit. Even if you're a human eating it, that human's on a lower level consciously. So once you raise your consciousness even higher than where it's at right now, you're gonna look at the food you've been eating already as it's some fucking garbage. It's trash. Like, how the fuck was I eating this Snickers? Like, when I look at some of the shit I ate, I was like, God damn, that shit was disgusting. Like, I'm like, how the fuck I used to eat that? That shit was horrible. And I felt like, in a way, I'm like, I feel kind of regret. Like, damn, I wasted all my money. I wasted all my time, all the time I spent driving over here to get this and eat that and ordering this on fucking DoorDash and doing like all that. But at the same time, I don't beat myself up because that was an experience. And at the time, I was enjoying it at that time. And this shit goes on to it goes on to different things. It even goes to the type of women you attracted to. Like a lot of niggas, like they may be attracted to like BBW or they may be attracted to like weird fetishes. A lot of that shit is mental illness. Like niggas who are attracted to children, that's because they have a mental illness. Niggas that are probably have weird fetishes, they mean like fat bitches or something. I'm not saying it's wrong to like it, but usually that's catered with some type of like mental illness, really, because when you like something, everything you like is a reflection of the mind. So if you're liking low vibrational things, because I noticed like as I stopped liking a lot of different food, like I don't like I used to like BBW big women, but as I started like being on this path right there and in my diet started shit that has nothing to do with that, I stopped liking as much. Weed didn't get me high the same way. Even when I was fucking watching porn and shit, certain fucking porn, like it wasn't attractive as much because it just was low vibration because it was a weird ass fetish shit. You see what I'm saying? Like it is deep on all levels. It ain't just food. Don't just think it's just food. This shit is a whole detox to the fucking mind, cleansing it. That's why you guys gotta like really get on this shit because it's a lot of things you guys desire and you like. You think that's you. It's not you. I'm telling you, it's not you. And the more you get lost in that desire, the more you're gonna regret when you come out of it. Like, damn, all this time I wasted. Who's this? What's good with it?
What's up, Chauncey? How you been, man?
Shit,
What's
man.
good?
Shit, just try not to strangle a motherfucker out here.
Yeah, I feel
That's
it,
what the
man.
breath work is for. That's fun. I'm just playing, it. It was good.
It's good. Hell yeah, man. It's good to see you. I'm glad that I finally joined, man. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's very interesting when well, first I really appreciate the information you're dropping, man. Like
Yeah, my bad.
fasting.
My shit might fuck up every now and then, so
Oh no, you can good. Yeah. All right, sorry. But yeah, but I just want to appreciate your information, man, for teaching us like how to like do a lot of breath work, a lot of fasting and stuff like that. Because that
yeah.
helps a lot. I feel like schools really need to teach that because they don't teach anyone about that shit, and that's just like important. because especially all
Oh
these
my god,
foods,
dude.
poisonous and shit, you know.
My goodness, bruh.
Uh-oh.
Hey, all right, all right. I don't know what's going on.
All right, you good? No, I get it. Like some fucking
All
like
right, hold on.
technical.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you able to hear me?
Hello? What the fuck is going
Yeah.
on?
Oh shit. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, I can hear you. It's just fucking up. Ever since you joined, it's fucking up for some reason. It's probably because it's
man.
taking a lot more Wi-Fi data because you got
Oh shit.
somebody else. I don't know what's going on, but I just
I could if you want, I could try to leave then join back if you want. Hopefully that could help.
no, it's good right now. You good right now?
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So what were you saying?
Oh yeah, no, like it's like I just want to appreciate your knowledge, man, from teaching us like the importance of breath work, like fasting and all that, like how like
Yeah.
food really like mess you up. It's crazy, and like especially since like time is speeding up so fast. Like it's just been going on fast as fuck, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I can't do
That's why
shit, man.
that's why we got to get on it. That's why I'm saying we got to get on it. That's why you see a
Yeah,
lot of people are fasting nowadays is because of the time speeding up. Nobody really talks about it, but based upon their actions, you can tell that's the reason. Because like ain't nobody was doing this years ago. But why all of a sudden
yeah,
everybody wants to start fasting right now? It's because time is speeding up. Motherfucker,
Ex-
that niggas think like, oh, nigga, if you're doing, I'm not hating on anyone's doing fast, but if you're doing a 5 day
yeah,
fast, it's pretty much like you're doing 3 days. If it was like a few years
exactly.
ago,
Yeah,
because
for
it's like,
real.
but your body's still gonna think it's 5 days, so you're still gonna get 5 days of healing, which is still good.
Yeah. Oh, so that's interesting you mentioned it. So with the program with the body, so I've noticed like since time is speeding up, even when it's dark, I've noticed like my body still feels tired or like I still feel sleepy, even on the
Yeah.
weekends. You know, it's weird. It's programming, huh?
Yeah, and not only that, it's like you wake up early. At least for me,
Mhm.
I wake up early. I can't wake up past 8
Yeah,
unless I
that's
go to
crazy.
bed. Like
Uh
unless
huh.
I go to bed around like 5 in the morning or
Yeah.
some shit, or like I can't wake up past like 8 or 7. I always wake up around 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning. That's why sometimes I do my lives because I can't wake up late
Yeah.
anymore. It's just
I,
weird, and it's like, and
yeah.
it gets dark at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know where you're at if it gets dark, but
It gets dark. I hate that shit so much.
yeah,
It's
but
annoying.
I remember back in 2021,
Mhm.
time was still going by fast, but not as fast. But I remember in 2021, it started getting dark at 6 o'clock. I
Oh,
remember, and for like the whole daylight savings period from like November to like around February, close to March, it was getting dark around 6. And I'm like,
oh,
okay, fucking, that's weird. And then now, fast forward 2 years later, it's like it's getting dark at 5. So I'm thinking it's the time speeding up, and that's why it's
I
getting dark early.
I think you mentioned too that like they're gonna cancel daylight savings. Have they done it? I think they did because I haven't heard about
No,
it.
they were supposed is going on with that. They were supposed to cancel it.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be the last one. And then
Hmm.
because they said 2023 November is the last one, and then they're gonna cancel it. And but I
Yeah.
don't hear nothing of them canceling. All I hear is like them like I don't they just said, oh, we're gonna switch it. Because
Hmm.
we're only supposed to have daylight savings this year. I'm thinking. I don't at
Yeah.
November. It wasn't supposed to be, but then they did it. So I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Man, either way, it's like that shit don't even matter no more. Like you said, like either way,
Yeah, it
like the
don't matter
days
because
go by
the
so
way
fast.
yeah, like the way I look at it, like yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Fuck.
It's not. It's spiritual shit, man. I'm telling you.
Fuck.
Same thing when Mooney Mercury joined. Remember, like your live was messing up. Well, it always messes up whenever you're speaking some like deep shit. You know. I mean, you always do, but it's just like always does this shit. you know. It's bullshit how like they shadow ban people's channels too, man.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Like
fuck is going on. This shit's weird.
yeah, probably some shadow ban type of shit. You know, some bullshit like
Hold on.
yeah. You can take time, bro. I'm not really.
Yeah, hold on. Now I'm gonna go drive in the driveway
yeah, you good.
so I can get close to the internet.
There you go, bro. Drive safe, man.
I would do this shit inside, but fucking, I don't want to be distracted. Oh, what are you talking about? And then am I trying to have people on my video and shit? Oh,
Yeah,
what are you talking about? And oh, I want to join the video.
yeah. I know, like, or people
Park
get
right
all
here.
nosy and stuff, or you know how bots are, where like they're here talking about
Yeah.
spirituality, and like they get all like, you know, these people are just dumb.
Oh shit. I had my brakes on. Should have put that shit down. But yeah, this should be a little better.
Bro, I
All
remember
right.
when you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, cool, cool, okay. It's so cool when you talk about yoga and you talk about how like when you're first doing yoga, like full body stretches, then like all these like pent up emotions or trauma will come to the surface and stuff. Like I swear to God, like ever since I've done yoga, bro, like I've like all these past like memories and shit, like that I thought I already like I'm done with. It came to the surface. I'm like, what the fuck? Every next
Yeah.
thing was yoga. I was like, that makes so much sense. That makes sense. That shit is intense, man.
My God, dude. What the fuck is fine?
It's a spiritual shift probably. That always happens when people join.
Why? Hold on. I'm gonna probably. I'm not gonna end the live stream, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my 5G mobile hotspot on. So, because this shit is fucking ridiculous.
Oh shit, yeah. Actually, hang on. I gotta charge my phone real quick. Hang on.
All right, this should be good. This should be good right now.
I didn't realize my battery charger is at 2%. Hang on. I'm gonna charge it real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good.
So what were you saying before? I don't know why this shit is fucking up, man. Like, shit's getting me annoyed.
No, I was saying like when you mentioned that like when you're doing your yoga stretches, like past emotions or like that like triggered you or something like that will come to the surface, you know?
Yeah, it
That's
does.
crazy, man. It's insane.
You gotta be careful though
Yeah.
when you do this. You got like I told you, like there was a time when I was doing this shit
Yeah.
and like a lot of phobias. Like I had a fear of bugs and
Yeah.
shit. And I was doing this stretching and I always had a fear of it when I was younger. But then I remember because how the trauma works sometimes when you release it, it's a reflection of the outside world. So that it was like a certain week. I remember that week I was just doing I was going this when I was going to the chiropractor and I was doing a little bit of stretching. And for some reason, all of a sudden, like every time I close my eyes, I'll see like some fucking weird demonic monster.
Oh
Like
shit.
yeah. Every time, even I wasn't high nothing. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I knew it was the stretching. And this shit was weird because literally that's the next day, like there was a bunch of bugs in my house. Like, and I was
shit.
like it was weird. And I had to fucking like
shit.
I was scared to go home and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, and then it was because of that. But as I kept doing it, it kind of released it and like the fear, but the fear was so bad. I was up fucking like for like I said like 2 weeks. I was up. And I was up. I couldn't sleep. I had to have my dog sleep with me. I was scared because I was thinking like it just was weird, nigga. That shit was fucking weird. Like I just thought like because I was seeing like the fucking when I closed my eyes, I see like a monster.
Oh
And
shit.
it was like a demon, bug, insect, but it wasn't nothing like external. It was a reflection of like me because that was a fear that I had. So you have to, all your fears or phobias, you deal with it. So this is why they told you in the Indian, the Kundalini, they say when you raise your, because Kundalini is just you awakening to your power. That's what Kundalini. So this is why they even say in the Hindu religion and all these other spirituals, they say when you raise Kundalini, which is actually like releasing trauma and shit, you have to, you should do it under somebody who knows what they're doing because it can cause psychosis. Like a lot of people who have psychosis, it's because they activated that and they don't know how to do it. Like a lot of people, they had what I had and they don't know the word for it. So this is why you see people with the mental, because a lot of people in mental health and
Yeah.
these mental psych wards that they feel people are gonna get them. You know, they, oh, I think the government's gonna get me. That's
Yeah.
how I was, but I thought it was like bugs and insects were gonna get me. I was scared to like I even though I was like the only time I was comfortable kind of was when I was driving or like riding a bike
Yeah.
because there was so much like I just thought they were gonna get me and it was like a thing and that's like now I understand why people think that oh a fucking because what I had was for that but some people think the government's gonna get them or they think a monster's gonna kill them and then some
Yeah.
of these people they don't know how to heal that so they have to put them in a psych ward and give them medication.
Yeah. I
So
hate that
that's why
shit.
you got to be careful. I'm not saying it's gonna happen to you, but because everybody's different, but you got to be careful because that was a extreme phobia that I had, so that needed to be healed. But other people they have different types of phobias
Yeah.
and shit. So you got to be careful when you're doing this. It will bring and it may bring up certain triggers and shit that this is why you want to stay on it because if you get in it, let's just say you like let's just say you get in you before you started yoga you were depressed and had anxiety and you want to get better. When you start doing it, certain things are going to come to the surface and it's going to feel and seem like you getting worse, but you're just releasing it. If you were to
Yeah.
stop doing the yoga, then you're going to be fucked because there's nothing that's being healed. And this is how some people they go to mental psychosis units because they got that shit going on and they don't know how to heal it. They don't know what's going on. They just think as if they put them on pills or they put them
Yeah.
in a psych ward and they're like, oh, this person's gonna kill me, or they see fucking certain demons in their fucking head and they go crazy and then they kill themselves because they activated
Intense.
that.
Damn.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta be
Shit.
careful when you're doing this and because even it may even bring up other triggers where it just it makes you feel it a lot more. But that doesn't mean you're getting worse. If anything, that means you're healing
Okay.
because you
Dope.
got to
That's
keep
good.
doing it. And then once you get through that,
Yeah.
all this shit that angered you and pissed you off, you're gonna most likely like that's gonna be the shit that motivates you and gets you up. It's like
That's some great
all
shit.
the shit you hate that you wish didn't happen to you. That's the
Mm-hmm.
shit you're gonna be grateful that it happened to you because that's gonna be the shit that's gonna make you powerful. Like I can't explain. Like you know what I said? What doesn't kill you make you stronger. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that. Like the shit that you hate that you went through, that's the
Mm-hmm.
shit that you needed. Because if you just had the healing and the positivity without going through that, you'll be a
Yeah.
weak ass person. That
That's
you
true.
don't know it because you just feel like, oh, I feel good and I'm this and that, but you could have been stronger than what you were. This is why you see some people
Point.
like they just weak ass people, and you just how is this person dumb or this person doesn't have that much will power? They just so it's because they probably haven't really been through nothing in life to give them that
Mm-hmm.
driving power. Because you need human beings need this is why the spirit will put us in
Ah.
this is why the spirit will put us in certain situations. So once we get out of that situation, we're stronger. Because if we didn't go through that situation and you just got the money, you got the success, then when that shit happens to you in your life,
Yeah.
you won't know how to handle it, and then somebody will come and take it from you. Because yeah, you don't know how to handle it, and then it's like you don't know where you came from. It's like you got to know where you came from to know where you're going. You can't just be going somewhere. When you know where you came from, then you have a foundation to build off. So when you get to where you're going, you have something to work with. If you just go into a nice place and you don't have know where you came from, then you're going to be gullible. You're not going to have the vibe, the energy, and you're just going to feel naked. But once you came from somewhere, you've been through something, and then you get things you want, then you're able to hold on to that, and nobody can really take it away from you because you put in
Yep.
the energy work. Like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the
Like you have
shit,
that why. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like a lot of the shit people like a lot of the reasons a lot of people don't like they feel like they're being blocked. They're like, oh, I'm being gangsta. I'm doing everything right. I'm going to go do this and I'm doing this. And why is not what you're doing right. Is sometimes you have to go through certain experiences. And some of those experiences mean probably being snaked by a homie or losing
Yeah.
money, or you got to go through something. And then once you go through these things, then you can get successful because every even when I watch these people who talk about trading cryptocurrency, every single person I see that's a millionaire trading cryptocurrency, every single person. There's not one person I've heard of that didn't say, maybe it is. I didn't. Every single person, what they say is that they always have a story that they lost a lot of money, whether that be millions of dollars they lost or tens of thousands or hundreds. They lost a lot of money in it. And I'm not saying you have to lose money to get money, but the end, you have to go through something in life that's put in the energy work. Because if you want to say, let's just say you want to be a fucking famous whatever, you want to be somebody successful, you can't just go and be like, oh, I want to be this famous this, and think you can just put yourself out there and get successful, because there's somebody who's in that position who put in a lot of energy work. It may not have nothing to do with what you guys are doing. It could have something to do with when he was a kid or when he was growing up, and but they put in energy work, and that energy work allowed them to be able to be where they're at. So you may be hating all this motherfucker, how does bitch ass nigga get this and that, but you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. You don't know what they went through, because a lot of people don't want to talk about their negative. They just want to make it look easy. Like that's a lot of this mentorship and this shit. They try to make it look easy, but in reality, it's not easy. And I don't mean easy as hard. It's hard as in, oh, it's hard to make money. It's just a lot of people have a lot of shit they gotta do that's more important than money. And then they think backwards, so they're like, oh, I can't make money, I can't do. But it's like, no, you need to probably take care of your health. You probably need to get your fucking mind right. And then once you do that, you'll automatically know how to make money. It's not about, oh, I gotta learn this technique, gotta make money. No, you gotta get your inner world right, master yourself. Then once you do that, once you master yourself, then by default you automatically know how to make money. Because making money is really the hardest thing about making money, is actually doing the energy work to make money. That's the hardest thing about making it. It's not about just going out, and because this is why you'll see people, they have real estate or a multi-level marketing, and then this person gets like 20 sales a day, but then when you do it, like, I can't even get a sale, or nobody's viewing my shit, is because that person, their mind is in a certain space, so anything they do with their body is gonna be more receptive within this reality, because their mind is in a certain space. Versus if you went and did what they did, this is why I say all that mentorship shit is all bullshit, kind of, unless it's a mentorship and they're telling you how to master yourself. And then, but if it's just straight up telling you, oh, make money, just go and look at this strategy. Like, there's so many videos I see of people talk about, oh, look at this strategy on how to get rich. But we got a bunch of broke ass niggas and unemployment out here. Why doesn't people just go do this? And everyone's on the internet. It's because what I'm saying is true. So you don't have to believe me. You can just look at reality and see there's millions of ways to make money online, but you only see a few people doing it. It's not the technique, because there's no technique to get rich. Because if you guys don't believe, I remember I was doing this crypto shit, right? And I was making money. When I make money in it, it's because I'm in a certain mindset. Usually when I'm on an extended fast for a lot of days. And I remember I wasn't doing my fast. And this nigga, he was in a trade, as a Discord forum for traders. I was in a forum, and he was like, oh, everybody get this trade right here and buy when it gets to this price. And literally he told people how to do it. And I was in a fucked up mindset, and I went, and then I fucking like the timing, I didn't do it at the right time. Oh, shit. And I fucked it up, and I didn't make no money. And if I would have put like $100, I would have made like $400 or $500, or so. I would have made hella money, but I fucked it up because I wasn't in a mindset. And like, it could play out like that, or it could play out, let's just say you do get the money, but you end up losing it quick. So you gotta master yourself, because this shit don't play. Like, you can't take no shortcuts in this.
Yeah, you mentioned it too, like, it's about the energy. That's why when you see someone on YouTube, well, I think YouTube is a bad example, but let's just say the internet. And I mentioned this too, where someone were to, like, for example, make videos on social media, right? Someone could be speaking knowledge and facts, right? But they could get less viewers and subscribers to the other person who's speaking on some bullshit, right? But that person who's speaking bullshit has more energy, and they could,
I wouldn't say it's always more energy. It's not like it's always more energy. Like I said, like, that could be it, but everybody has a different path. Like example, a kid in Africa who grew up in a village broke, he will say that you have a lot of energy and you're lucky, but you already know in your personal life you go through problems. So
Yeah,
it's the same with the person who has a lot of views, who's a
that's a
dumbass.
good point.
They just have a different path. Like a kid in
Yeah,
Africa is gonna call you rich and lucky, but you know you're not rich. But compared to them, they think. Well, so because you're just on a
good
different
point.
path, you're on a different spiritual mission. So
Mhm.
somebody can have a spiritual mission to be a dumbass, but then they got parents that have billions of dollars. That's because their spiritual mission, it probably has to do with them needing a lot of money for their lessons that spirit wants to learn. So it doesn't always
Yeah,
mean they have a lot of energy. That's one thing I want to like get out there. Because if that's the case, everybody in America has a lot of energy to a kid in Africa starving, which that
that's
is the
true.
case. You got human traffic victims. You got people got to work 9 to 5 on
Yeah,
bullshit. This reality sucks. Even though it's not as bad as Africa, it's still you got problems.
good point. Yeah,
And in
good
some
point.
cases, some people's life is worse than the kids in Africa because some people are so depressed and miserable. When I went to Africa and I seen kids living in the slums, it was like a slum in Nigeria built over the water. Kids smiling, running around, jumping, like 10, 11, 12 years old. But out
Yeah.
here, if a kid doesn't get the new fucking video game or they don't get the little Fortnite points card in the fucking mail, then they're
Oh,
gonna
I
be,
see.
oh my goodness, my life sucks and it's boring. I gotta play this, I gotta play demos. I don't get to play the new game and shit. Like they complain and their weekend is ruined because they have to play demos because their parents too broke to buy them the new game. So like it's all the perspective.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. That plays a role too, especially when you mentioned like life path as well. That's a really good point. Well, also,
Yeah, so
with
don't
the
don't beat yourself up over that shit. Like, oh, just because they got them, they don't really mean that they got energy. I'm talking about people who like they're pushing a message and they actually are doing something. And because when you'll know it's because, like I said, the average person they're worried about catering to their pleasures. Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to get
yeah,
high. Everybody wants to watch the newest movie, listen to the
mhm,
latest. Everyone wants to feel good. That's the regular sheep. But the average person who's a rich person, they're they're trying to make the product that people are addicted to. Just like you have a movie that everybody they go take their paycheck to go watch a stupid ass movie. You got those
mhm,
people, and you got the people who make the movie for the consumer. You got the consumer and the person who makes the consuming product. So
yeah,
people who are rich, they care about making that product and always advancing and bettering their life and always building. And it's not because their lives they're miserable and they just no they actually like doing that because they rewired their mind to where they
mhm,
like the same joy that a sheep gets for consuming. They have
yeah,
that same joy for working and bettering themselves, which is how it's supposed to be.
yeah,
Most people just been programmed because of the government and the corporation. They wanted people to buy, so they program it through marketing. They program you to want to always buy and consume, which the rich
yeah,
people don't do that shit. The rich
mhm,
people they do it, but when they do it, it's like an average sheep gets their paycheck, they spend $5 on a candy bar. That's nothing. But
yeah.
when a rich billionaire or millionaire, when they get their
For
check, they
purpose.
spend 400,000 on a Lamborghini, and that's equivalent to $5. So it's nothing. You may say, "Oh, this person they buy a lot of shit," but that's after the fact, though. That's after
Yeah,
they already did their shit, and the money that they spent on that is nothing compared to like you see what I'm saying? Like it's like the
yeah,
equivalent of a $5 nigga buying a candy bar for $5. So
right. And like you said too, like people like they have a purpose too. Like usually people, I guess I'm not sure for everyone. I don't know, but for like some people, like they usually have like a purpose or like they have a goal, and like the life itself, or I don't know, or spirit will give them a lot of money so that they can complete that goal. I think you mentioned that. Like that was a good
it's
point.
not like it's all we choose it. It's not like this. Like the
Oh,
spirit is you.
uh,
Like this, the spirit is you. Like it's not like the spirit is all like the spirit is something. Like you right now, you're in your ego. So
mm,
you're not really like you have to in order to be in this world, you have to be in your ego. Even
yeah,
when you're merged with your higher self, you still have ego because there's a reason you wore the black sweatshirt and not a pink one. You
yeah,
could have judged all the clothes in your wardrobe, you wore that one. So that's ego.
yeah. Mhm.
That's what people want to make an ego thing. Oh, you're in your ego. They have a
Ah, why is it lagging?
you you have to have an ego to have a favorite of anything. You can't have a favorite something and not have ego. So just by you preferring this over that, I'd rather take this road instead of that's an ego right there. The spirit is like none of that shit. So the spirit is you before you came down here. So you chose all this shit. But when you were in that mind as your spirit choosing all that, you didn't look at it the same way you look at it now. It's like
Yeah.
you're a roller coaster. When you go on a roller coaster, it's like you look at it like, oh, I want to. When you're on the roller coaster and it's scary, it's too late. But then when you get on, like, oh, that shit ain't nothing, I go on, and then you get on it, and it's like you in the middle of it, and you scared, you want to get the fuck off, and it's like
Yeah.
that's kind of how it is, like spiritually. Damn, what the fuck is going on with this shit, man? Shit.
It happens all the time. It's even when someone doesn't join your lives, it still happens. Especially
Yeah, it's weird.
so it's spiritual thing, probably. No, it's good. No, but it's good. I can still hear you and all that.
Yeah.
It's good messages. For fasting too, like man, like fasting, I feel like it's so like underrated because you know how Kelly Muslim, you know how now he's fasting, he's juicing. Sometimes I be thinking like these mainstream YouTubers could be watching your videos too sometimes because it's just crazy. Like you got Kelly
Now,
Muslim doing it
a
now.
lot of people are just on the bandwagon to
Uh-huh.
really do it. It's either that or they've been through, like Cali, he went through a health issue. If he didn't go through that health issue, he probably wouldn't be doing it. Same with me. I went through a health issue, and that what caused
Yeah.
me to do it. A lot of these other niggas who are doing it and there's not a health issue, they just doing it because they want to be on the bandwagon. That's why they invented intermittent fasting, which is really intermittent. Your fat ass is eating, so it's really intermittent eating. You're just taking a break from eating. It's not there's no such thing as intermittent fasting unless you're doing over one day. That's intermittent fasting. So
That's
they
true.
created intermittent fasting, the fake one, just so people can feel like they want to jump on the trend, but they can't really do the whole. Like, why the fuck you got to do intermittent? Why don't you just do a full day eat, like, or 2 days
Yeah.
or whatever? Like, why only do? Because they always want to do a short. Because everyone's trying to jump on the trend because it's cool, and some people want to make money. They have health channels, and they know this is taking off, so they want to do that. Which, in a way, is good because at the end of the day, as long as people get the message, that's really good. People healing because food is really a poison. But
Yeah.
that's mainly what it's all the trend.
Exactly. It's funny too. When you're fasting too, you made a good point. Like, if you're fasting, but let's say if you're hungry, right? Most people, I experience this too. Like most people and myself, like we'll say we're hungry, but we're not really hungry. It's a programming because whenever we feel like eating, it'll be like junk food or chips or desserts. But we don't say, oh, I'm craving fruits or vegetables. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like
Yes.
people say, oh, you
I caught
need to
myself
eat.
doing that.
You need to eat. You need to eat. Okay, if you need to eat, go eat some fruits and vegetables. Go eat some raw diet. So
They don't
none of
want to
your
hear
shit is
that.
cooked. They can't do it. So
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
addicted.
Yeah, exactly. Like I caught myself doing that too. I'm like, fuck, I'm not even hungry. Like I just want some
But then you
fucking
don't think of no fruit or no vegetable. You think of like some with carbs
yeah.
in it and grease
And
in
they
it.
don't
That's
want to
it
eat it
because it's an
now.
addiction. You're not really hungry.
Yeah, I bet they don't want to
Because
eat now. Shit.
yeah, because when I'm really hungry, like right now, like when I'm hungry on my fast,
Mhm.
I don't crave nothing but like fruit juice or
That's
fruit.
good.
Even when I drink, I remember when I ended one of my fasts one time. I went and
Mhm.
got a Simply lemonade. It was a no, not Simply. It was a fucking organic strawberry lemonade from the 7-Eleven, the 7-Eleven brand.
Good.
And I remember I got that shit, and it tasted. I had ate some watermelon because
Yeah.
I had stole a whole. I didn't even buy any of that shit. I went to fucking 7-Eleven. I
I'm
stole all
just,
that.
yeah.
I stole a whole bunch of watermelon from
It's like
7-Eleven.
that
They
shit.
got the
Hell yeah.
best fucking watermelon. 7-Eleven,
Was
the
it like the
watermelon
whole
spears.
what the watermelon was it like slices of it or like was it like the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
like
the slices,
oh yeah.
the watermelon
Really?
spears. The ones at 7-Eleven, if they're fresh, they good as fuck.
Oh yeah, I know what I'm talking
I,
about. Yeah, those are good.
I got two of them and I ate it. They hell expensive, like 4.29 for that for one.
That
The
shit is
small ass. I'm
expensive.
like,
Yeah, that shit's
and it,
annoying.
yeah,
It's
and it's like
stupid.
I ate that shit and
Mm.
it was good. And I was like, damn, I wish I got another one. And then I opened the drink, and then when I drank the drink, that shit tasted so like it was organic, and the ingredients said all organic, but
Oh
it
man.
tasted like chemicals and shit. Like it tasted hella tangy, and it didn't taste
Ah,
natural. I was like, fuck. So it was
yeah.
like,
Taste all that. Especially when you're fasting too. Like you mentioned this too. Like when you're fasting, and then when you like drink like some like juices from the store and shit, like you could taste the chemicals and all that. I experienced that when I was fasting for like a short period of time. I'll eat the same foods and I'll taste the chemicals. I'm like, hey, this shit nasty, man. Like what the fuck?
yeah.
I used to like this shit. You know?
Yeah, but you gotta stay on it, because if you keep eating
Exactly.
it, you're gonna revert back to your old
Yeah.
self. So you
Yeah.
gotta.
That's what happened to me. Like fuck, because now I keep eating that shit, but while I was fasting, I don't like it. You know? Like you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. This shit's
yeah.
crazy. Like,
It's like a fucking
that shows
game.
you, because you're healing the taste buds in your
Hmm.
in your mouth. You're healing that. So
Yeah. Oh,
when
okay.
you so
That makes sense.
yeah, it's like you're transforming the taste buds, because you're not eating, and then so now when you
Yeah.
eat, your taste buds are so sensitive, so you can taste the chemical. Even when I went on my first fast, or even even the water is poison. Like, I don't even drink water. That's one thing, I don't even drink water. The only time I drink
Yeah.
water is if I eat. If I'm not eating,
Hmm.
or if I'm not on a fast that's like over 4 days, I don't even drink water. And even then, because like when I drink water,
Yeah.
I get that same. I can taste the chemicals. Even the
That's
fucking,
crazy.
even the first fast I did,
Uh,
the very first fast I did, it was 3 days. It was May of 2019. I
mhm.
did that fast. I remember my grandma was like, "You looking skinny." And I was like, "Fuck!" And then I ended it because I was hella skinny, because I thought I was never gonna get my weight back. So
Uh,
I went and ate, and I had some fruit, and I drank the Crystal Geyser water. That shit, fucking like, it was hard to. I couldn't even drink the water that much. When I drank it, it was hurting my throat. That's how
oh
bad it
shit.
was. Like, because it was the chemicals, because they have chemicals in it, and it was
Yeah.
like hurting my throat. So I had to drink the water in sips, because like it was
Mm.
so sensitive in my throat, and I could taste like the chemicals in it.
Damn.
And I was like, "Oh, I have to drink spring water, or the artesian or some shit." And then that
Hmm.
was all right. But like recently, right now, even when I drink the spring water, the French Alps, the Evian water,
Yeah.
I can still taste that shit. But it's not as bad as the other one. But yeah, because all the water it has some type of chemical in it, and I'm thinking it's because the bottles, they put it in a bottle, and
Mhm.
it's sitting in a bottle.
Oh,
So
it's
there's a
plastic
little
and
bit of
shit.
chemicals in it.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
even the water is fucking poison. The only
Yeah.
time I probably say water is good is if you go to, like, you have a well, or you're getting it straight from the source. But if you're getting bottled water, that shit's poison.
Yeah. Even like, do you think like, you know how there's some bottles that alkaline? Do you think those have chemicals too, to some extent, or no?
Everything that is a food product or
Mhm.
a water product that's packaged in a bottle or container, or it has some form of chemical.
Mhm.
It's impossible not to. Even
Shit.
like the Evian, like they say BPA free, but at the same time, go get a BPA free bottle and light the bottle on fire. And that smoke that comes from the bottle,
Yeah.
you're not gonna want to inhale that, because it's, you see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
they still need some type of chemical to make the fucking bottle.
That
So
makes
unless
sense.
it's like
Like all the switching
glass,
there. Yeah.
glass
That,
bottle, then
mhm.
I don't know. When I drink the last time I drank water from glass, it tasted like shit. But I think that was just that brand. I don't know if I don't really drink water from a bottle, but from a glass.
Yeah.
But
And then they charge us for that. Like they charge for like water bottles. See, this is why we gotta take shit, man. It's too expensive, bro. Like $5, $4 for a fucking water bottle. That's just too much,
I
man.
know, and it's like
It's got
it's
chemicals too. What the
ridiculous.
fuck? Yeah, it's got chemicals too. What the fuck?
And no,
Hey,
it's like, and it's gonna give you cancer and disease, and you gotta pay for that. Like, fuck this shit.
yeah. Oh, it's
Like, I
funny.
don't even, like, I'm about to like, I don't even spend my money on food anymore.
Just take
I
that
have, like, I'm
shit.
about to have, well, in 2 days, about to be, my stamps are about to hit. I'm gonna have like 900, and I'm gonna show you niggas. It comes on the 4th. I'm gonna
Mhm.
have like close to $1,000. I'm about to sell it to the Arab nigga at the
Oh yeah,
market.
remember you mentioned that? Yeah, you just buy
Yeah,
off
it's
of
an
me
Arab nigga at
for
the
how
market.
much?
I'm gonna sell him all my stamps, because
You
he
have to do
that
that.
place is hella ghetto. He doesn't even look for ID when you cast a check. My
Oh
friend
shit.
cast a check over there. Dude, well, not my friend, but nigga, I was like, he paid me money to give him a ride, and he was cashing his check so he can
Mhm.
give me some money. And then the dude didn't even ask for it. He's like, oh, you don't ask for ID. So I was like, I'm about to go over here and sell on my stamps, because he
Yeah, just do
already
that.
has to. What's up?
Yeah, just do that. Just do what you got to do to make
Yeah,
money. If
yeah,
you're
because like,
offering it, fuck it. You know?
they already have to buy food for that store. That they have to re-up and restock. So why
Yeah.
not buy the stamp for me for half price, and then fucking restock your store with this shit because you're gonna buy food anyways because you own a liquor store.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm a just shit. I haven't spent money on food in a minute. It's not just because I steal food. It's just I'm also eating a little bit. Because if I was eating like a
Yeah.
fat fuck, it would have been hard for me to be able to keep doing it. Because like some of this, because before like years ago, I would steal food and then I will buy some, but I don't even eat that much. So I just go up in there and get my shit and then I go out. So I've been doing this shit ever since like probably this summer. So I have like close to $1,000 in fucking stamps. I'm gonna show you guys
That's
when I
good.
get on the 4th. I'll put a community post.
Yeah. I read that on one of your like oldest videos in your lives, like you're stacking up all your cash on video. That shit was funny.
Uh,
You're fucking funny. That's hilarious. Uh, no, that's funny though, bro. So like your the area you live at, like it's funny because like you know how when you post videos of like shorts of like people doing crazy shit. Remember that one lady? Like she was
yeah.
like so what the fuck is that? I thought that's from like a different video. Like, I didn't know you recorded
No,
it. So I heard your voice. I was like, oh shit! She's sitting in front of
yeah,
basketball.
that bitch.
Oh, laughing, bro. That shit
That's
was
what I'm saying.
funny.
Like this shit's crazy, and the bitches are coming at me, throwing shit at my fucking car and shit. I threw a water. Like I didn't get it, but I threw my water bottle at her when I was driving out, but it missed. I missed. I almost hit the bitch. It's funny. Like she's all trying to play like she's fucking retarded. I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out of here, because she's all acting all retarded and like showing her ass. I'm like, but yet when I threw that water bottle, she knew to fucking get out the way. That's what I realized. Like, a lot of these niggas, they be trying to
Damn.
play like they're retarded and they don't have no sense. I'm like, bitch,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up. Because when I threw that water bottle, she ducked that shit like she knew what the fuck she was going on. Like,
Damn, I fucking caught that bitch.
yeah, I was hella mad. I wish I would have hit that bitch. But I fucking like threw a water bottle because she kept going to my car. Because I came out of the fucking store and she said, can you buy me something? And I just ignored her. And then she started coming to my car, fucking showing me her ass. And it's like, bitch, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. I remember oh yeah, but with fasting, right? So I feel like do you think fasting and all that that could one obviously you can save a lot of money, like I save your work and all that, you can just build up save your money. But also do you think that also helps build up a lot of energy? Because you mentioned that like people would like in order for you to like I guess attract money or like that, you need like energy, right? So you know what to do with it. Like, do you think fasting can help with that too? Like fasting, breath work.
It's when I say money, don't just think money. Think
Um,
energy as in just your whole well-being of life is better. It goes
mhm,
beyond money. Money is just one of many things that get better. So that's
mhm,
what I mean when I say I don't want to just make it look like about money, but
yeah.
when you go on these fasts
Mhm.
and you do the breath work, even when you just do the fast, your mind gets you're in a more clear state of mind.
And you mentioned too, like, oh shit,
Where the
like,
mind goes, the body goes. So if you're in a
mhm,
clear state of mind, then whatever if you do anything positive with your body while
yeah,
in a clear state of mind, you're gonna end up manifesting and attracting positivity. Like you'll see people that win like a raffle ticket or they may win the lottery. It's not that they really got lucky. It's more
mhm,
so they were in a certain mindset. And when I say certain mindset, doesn't mean you, because some people, like I said earlier, just because you were in a mindset doesn't mean it has nothing to do with like your got energy, whatever. But some people, like, based upon the lesson they need to learn, they're in a mindset, or maybe they raise their energy, but regardless, they're in a mindset. And in that
yeah,
mindset, it allows where the mind goes, the body goes. So you being in that mindset, it will you'll do things just like right every day. Right now, you wake up in the morning, you go to the store, you go do this, you do that, and you just
mhm,
live your life. When you're in a mindset, you do the same thing, but then you'll notice you may find money on the floor, opportunities that come out of nowhere, or this happens, or you meet this person. But you were doing what you were already doing. The difference was you're in a different mindset. So therefore, you were guided subconsciously to certain locations. So for some reason, like, oh, I want to go to this liquor store to go buy a ticket, but you don't know why. Or maybe you
mhm,
had a meeting on the other side of the city and there's a liquor store there, and then you buy a ticket and you win a lottery. But yeah, if you didn't go to that meeting, you wouldn't have went to that store to get the ticket. But at the same time, the reason you went to that meeting because you're in a certain mindset. Because if you weren't in that mindset, you wouldn't even have had an idea of the meeting. So you see how it works out. So like
yeah,
that's how it is. you just got to get in the right mindset, and then you live your life. Because like I said, this is why I say, you already know how to make money. You already know what the fuck to do. You just got to get yourself into that mindset. At least that's how I am. Like me, I know everything. I know what to do. Like I know it's just my I have certain things that I have to work on, and so
Yeah.
like me, I have a lot of blockages and karma and shit. So like I have to because I have a stellium in the fucking sixth house Aquarius, so I have a lot of fucking baggage from a past life. So even when I'm
Oh
on
shit.
my shit and I do everything I'm supposed to do, I'm still gonna have problems and issues because a lot of shit I didn't handle. So I can do everything right and do everything and know everything, but it's still gonna be fucking like blockages to get me to where I want to get. And I
Oh
stay, but
man.
no, that's like I can't get there. I can get there, but it's like I
Yeah.
really have to work hard at it.
It's all good. So and like it'll only make you stronger too. You know, like the
Yeah.
more bugs you overcome, the more mentally stronger you get. You got it,
But
bro.
I'm not
Got it.
hating on. Like I'm good. I'm straight. Like I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like at the end of the day, this is infinite growth. It's never no. Even once you master what you think you're trying to master, there's gonna be something else. Always
That's
something else.
true.
So it's a
Yeah,
never-ending process of growth.
that's a good point.
You
And
yeah you just the spirit always wants to just have something new happening to it. So even if you're successful and you make it, eventually there's gonna be a problem. Why do you think you see a lot of these millionaires? They got their businesses and shit, and they get hit with some lawsuit that's
I
like for
know,
like
right?
$5 billion and shit. And it's like,
For
damn,
real
like
though,
they
always
thought they
some
were on
bullshit
top of the world
happening.
and they nobody can go broke, but they end up getting a lawsuit for like 5 million. That's a lesson that they have to learn. So like, you never anything could be taken away from you.
That's true. Good point.
Anything can be taken away from you at any moment. That's why you just always got to get to be on your P's and Q's. Like
Yeah.
even with that P Diddy shit, I don't even know what the fuck happened. I just hear a lot of people talking about him, but it seems like a lot of the shit they're talking about is old shit that was years ago.
Yeah. They
It's
always do
like
that with
anybody could
people
be
like
taken
that.
on because what people don't understand about the P Diddy thing is anybody who's on a level like P Diddy, Jay Z, Beyonce, everybody, they all
Mhm.
have dirt. You can't be in Hollywood without having dirt. It's just like if you want to join the cartel, they have to make sure they know where your family lives. So if you try to take their money or you fuck up on you fuck up on the run, the drug run, they can go get your family. They won't even let you join the cartel unless they know your people because they need some type of leverage. It's the same with the Hollywood
That's
and
true.
these Freemasonic initiation. They may film them doing some gay shit, or maybe this person used to be attracted to children or whatever, or they are, and then they keep it undercover. Like they'll say, oh, like P Diddy's not the only. Because remember R. Kelly, when R. Kelly was going to jail.
Hmm.
It's funny how when R. Kelly was going to jail back in 2019 and they had the case, nobody was talking about P Diddy because he was doing kind of the same thing what R. Kelly was doing.
Yeah.
But why nobody brought this shit up with people? Why is it coming out right now?
Yeah, it's so random too.
So
That's
it's
a good
like
point.
I don't even know what's going on with that shit because I don't pay attention to shit that's not important to me. Like
Hmm.
I can see why people want to talk about it though, because the only reason people want to talk about it because they want to make money from it. And anybody's
Yeah,
telling you anything else, they're a fucking idiot. The reason they want to talk about it because it's a hot topic and they want to make money. But me personally, I don't
exactly.
even give a fuck about what the fuck going on. My platform's not big enough for me to even have a fake ass interest to want to talk about it. So I don't really talk about it. But what I do see is like it's some fucking shit that I don't feel sorry for P Diddy at all. I don't feel sorry for none of them because they were in it. They knew what they were signing up for. A lot of these niggas,
Hmm.
they already knew this shit was coming. They
That's
already knew
crazy.
because they had all this dirt on their name. Even like the Adam 22, the fucking he does like he interviews the rappers and shit. They tried to say like, oh, he had a post from Twitter back in 2012. I'm like, this nigga's been on social media for all these years, and you just bringing this post right now. Like, where
For
was this
real,
post
right?
at? Like,
At a
so
random ass time and shit. What the fuck?
yeah. So they just do that because maybe he pissed somebody off in the industry, or
Oh
maybe
yeah,
he's not
that's
making a lot of money. Because if they can't make money from you, or maybe he got too lazy. He's supposed to make content and work and make albums, and he didn't want to. He just was relaxing too much at his fucking fat
they
ass
don't like
crib.
that shit. Yep.
And they're like, "Oh,
Not
you
pushing their
chilling, you
agenda.
having fun too much. You need to do some work." You probably didn't want to do it, or maybe you was speaking consciousness or something.
Exactly. Yeah,
Then
that's why I mentioned that.
I don't some because there's a lot of shit that goes on that you don't know. Like just like we live normal lives and we have our arguments, we have our battles, and they're that celebrities have that shit behind the closed doors. Politicians, they have that shit. So this is why like you'll see like scandals and shit behind like that come up. Like nobody knows why this shit came up, but P. Diddy probably knows why. Something probably happened behind closed doors where one of his higher ups or somebody who's above him, he probably pissed him off or somehow, I don't know, but something happened and then this happened.
You're right. And you mentioned too, like I don't know if it's I think it's a Masons or something where like they give these celebrities a lot of like money or fame, but once these celebrities start speaking like conscious shit, then like that's like you're biting the hand that feeds you, like you mentioned, and that's when they get attacked. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Even
crazy.
even the baby, like it's funny because the baby came out with a it was an article talking about the baby, and he said because remember back I think a couple of years ago they canceled him because he said some shit about gay people, and he said him doing that because before this was like back in 2021 I think, or was it last year? I think it was 2021 or last year, but it was one of these years. And after they canceled him, you didn't see nothing about him because before they canceled
Shit.
him, that whole year, everything on the radio, all the artists on the fucking the hits chart was all the baby. He was on every song, but after that shit, you didn't hear about him. They got rid of him, and he came up with an article talking about how it was a blessing in disguise because he lost $200 million from that shit. Because if you would have $200 million is a lot of money. So when they give you that money, you, something has to change in the way you run your program. And like, if you guys don't believe me, like Joe Rogan, I remember he had a spot because I don't follow these fucking artists. Like I just peep articles and I like to look at it just to get like just to see what's going on. I don't follow any of them, but Joe
Mhm.
Rogan, I remember he had a Spotify deal and it was $100 million. I don't know what year this was. I think it was 2018, 2017. It was some years ago. He got $100 million Spotify deal. And I remember before he got that deal, that nigga used to look hella normal and have vitality and be talking shit and just be a different energy. Cause I could read energy. And then
Yeah.
after he had that deal, I noticed that nigga like looked depressed and miserable, and like he looked the opposite I would expect for somebody who just got $100 million. And even to this day, like he don't even look this. He's not the same. He don't have the same vitality. He's like something drained his energy. And then you see how Dave Chappelle before because the Dave Chappelle, you see that nigga some I don't know what the fuck's going on, but he was like, oh, you know how he didn't take the 50 million,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess he ended up folding and shit, and he took the money because look at his ass is on Netflix now, and you see how he acts. He don't talk about nothing spiritual. I remember somebody said something like kind of spiritual, and he kind of like blew it off, like oh, like it was crazy and shit. Like that nigga's in a dark space. I don't even know. I don't want to say it's the same. It's a different person, but like it's like it's the same person, but his mind is just gone. And where the mind goes, the body goes. So the mind has changed so much, it changes the way everything else is. So like
Yeah.
his mind is
Fuck.
different, and then he got the deal. He got all this Netflix, and you see how it's not the same Chappelle as it was back in the day. So when they get that money, there's something that goes on, and it's not. I don't want to say it's something to do with like there's some white dude, some dudes in a suit, and they're coming after. Or we're gonna get Joe. It don't even play out. This system is built in a certain way, and when you have a lot of money in the system and you get it from these Jews, just by being in this world and doing things, it's gonna you're automatically gonna attract certain situations. It's not that they're like out to get them. It's more like
Like an energetic thing, huh?
yeah, it's like when you make a deal with these Jews and you take their
Uh-huh.
money, by default, you're gonna have to be around a lot of people and you're gonna be friends with people, and then that's gonna manifest situations that play out. Whereas like, and a lot of these niggas have fucked up desires, like R. Kelly, he like fucking with the girls and shit and doing all this. And if you have that and you have the money, then they can really get you because now by default you're gonna express your desires and all your fucked up corruptness, and then now they can use that as leverage. They oh look what he did. So it's like
Damn.
that's why. And even if
Yeah.
they didn't have nothing like that, they still would get you somehow. They probably make you get broke or make somebody come and fucking cuss you out. So now you get mad and you fight them, and now they sue you, or they could do anything to just fucking ruin you. Like they do a lot of shit. That's why I'm like fuck these niggas. Like they're not. But
They're crazy, man. And so much crazy how much so much drama that plays in. Um, Speaking of drama too, like since time is speeding up, how do you think society or this world is gonna play out since like time is accelerating? Because obviously, like this shit's keep accelerating every fucking month. You know, like
That
how like what, what do you think how this world's gonna be like? Do you think it's gonna continue or AI is gonna come in or
I
like
don't
as you
like
can
it,
keep
it's
making
gonna
like
it's gonna change most definitely, but
uh,
uh, I don't know exactly how because like I said we gotta gotta see what's going on. Like, but
yeah.
what I'm thinking is as time goes up, because you notice how they're not really talking about it. It's not in the news or nothing.
It should be on the
That's
news.
why I'm like, don't worry about that shit. Just keep observing the time speeding up because eventually it's gonna get to a point where you're gonna be forced to notice it. If people don't want to notice it, it's not they're not gonna be able to get through their day because the time is.
For real. Can't get their day
I
finished.
just just watch this shit play out because it's just gonna keep going quicker and quicker, and
Perfect.
then something
Yeah.
has to change. So you don't even have to worry if people say anything. The fact is getting quicker and the speeding up,
It's
that's
crazy,
enough where
man.
eventually people are gonna like have to recognize it. Because I remember I even see some of these bots, I'll overhear them, and then they'll be like, man, I didn't even do that much today, or the day went by
Bro,
fast.
me
But then
too. Yeah.
yeah, they just talk about like it's nothing though. But
Like it's
when
11
it gets
already.
when it gets more frequent and urgent, that's when it's a problem. Like when people talk about it or they make TikTok videos like it's light, then it's not a problem.
Mhm.
Once you hear people don't speak on it and it's like the elephant in the room, or then
Oh, shit.
it's serious.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's gonna make shit weird for people, man.
Yeah, like the
I'd be
cut.
observing too. Like, do they
Yeah,
not see this? I don't see how they react to this shit.
shit is
It's cool.
crazy.
It's cool if you work at a 9 to 5 because, like you said, if you hate that shit, then that shit will go by fast. I fucking love
But you got to
that.
go back quicker.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, good point. Especially on the weekends, fucking hate that shit. But
You got to go, and then
yeah,
what this does, it gets people because as time speeds up,
hmm
you're gonna either be great or you're gonna be worse. There's no in between.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
because anybody who's lazy and doesn't want to get their shit right, it's gonna be more easier to stay in that rut.
hmm
And the people who are better than themselves, it's gonna be easier for them to manifest and build their shit because it takes time to build. So if you're putting your energy into something,
that's a good
you're
point.
gonna get results quicker versus somebody who's in a lower aspect. They're just gonna end up being in the same rut.
That's a great point. Like you said, it's easier to like manifest things like that. Um. Also, what was I gonna say? Also, I was gonna say like since time is speeding up and working at average 9 to 5, since it takes up so much time because most people work like 5 times a week. Do you think it's harder for the average person to have personal time for themselves? So, because the more personal time you have, the more like you're able to know more about yourself and your passions.
No, that's not really what it is. You can know more about yourself any moment. Is because if you want to say, oh, you need personal time, then that gets people using an excuse. Well, I can't do this because I'm working, and there's always if there's a will, there's a way.
Which that's shit.
A lot of people think that they need to do so much just to get their self right. Where in reality, you do need to do a lot, but to get yourself in a position where you have your own free time and freedom,
hmm
anybody can do that with any like it's not no excuse really. It's just you got to do it by steps.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be this quick and it takes steps. So when you want to you say you don't have enough free time, you do have enough free time. When you instead of watching an hour of Netflix, use that hour to better yourself. Instead of playing
That's
video
true.
games, better yourself. Instead of going to the movies to go watch some, use that time. If you take all the records, what people do is they go to work and then they feel like I remember I seen this fat ass motherfucker years ago. Yeah, it was a channel. I forgot what video it was, but he's like, man, I work all week. So I went to the store and I got me a cake because I deserve it because I work all week. And it's like you can think like that, but look at it like this. If you want to say, oh, I deserve this cake or I deserve this beer, or, I was working all week. There's gonna be somebody who doesn't think like you, and they're gonna do what they're supposed to do on the weekends. And then when they become successful, you're gonna say they're lucky or life is unfair and why did they get it easy? And it's like, no, nigga, you decided to chill. Who said you needed a break after you work? Think
That's
about like every time you hear something or somebody tell you something, always think to yourself, Who the fuck said that we need a break to work? Who the fuck said life is supposed to feel good? Who the fuck said you're supposed to be happy? I'm
True.
not saying you're not supposed to, but who the fuck said you're supposed to be it? That's just what you came up with. So that's a limiting belief. Oh, I'm supposed to take a break after work. Okay, but then always remember there's somebody who's not taking a break, and that's the motherfucker who's a millionaire out there making big moves, doing shit. He's not taking no break. If you own a corporation and you making $100 million a year, what are you gonna? Oh, my company's making $100 million a year. I can relax and chill. Eventually, your ass is gonna be another corporation that's gonna overtake you. Not because just because I'm saying it, that's how the universe is. You always have to be moving. It don't matter if you have 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. If you're not moving, if you're not growing, you're gonna be falling. There's no in between in this world. So this is why you see like you had like MySpace and it was popular, but look at where is it at now? It's not here no more. It's because, you had the better example is you have Blockbuster, and then I heard Blockbuster was gonna do a merging deal with Netflix or something, and they refused it. But look at Netflix compared to Blockbuster. If Blockbuster would have changed their format to online and made a studio, Blockbuster studio, and made their own films like Netflix, they would have been just like Netflix, if not better. But the guy who had Blockbuster, he didn't want to grow. He thought, oh, my company's good. People are gonna watch these. He didn't go. Look where he's at now. So
Yeah,
it's the
good
same
point.
right now. Even
Yeah.
with YouTube. YouTube right now is popping, but the people who run YouTube, they already know what I'm talking about because these people they know. So this is why they have to be really on it, because if they're not on it, eventually somebody else is gonna make another YouTube and it's gonna overtake them. Then what they're gonna have to do is gonna have to hope they're gonna have to try to buy that person out, like because YouTube was made by people, and then they got bought out for $1 billion. They bought YouTube for $1 billion, I think. This was years
Like that.
ago,
Okay,
but
people.
and look how much YouTube's worth now, hundreds of billions, I'm sure. They're
Yeah.
worth a lot, but they bought him for $1 billion back. I don't know what they bought him out. So eventually, YouTube is not going to be as popping anymore if they don't keep up with it, and it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be something. And this is all universal. This ain't no like my opinion. This is how this spirit, this energy works in this reality. You always have to be growing. It doesn't matter how strong. This is why all these kings and these civilizations they fell. They weren't up to date and they weren't in alignment with how the reality works. So the the
That makes
the, the
sense.
longer
Stay
the
stagnant.
civilization, the more in tune with reality that they were. The shorter the
Yeah.
civilization, the more out of tune. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's why like in this world, like a lot of people like, oh, like that's why like the world is really weird. Like it's different. Like a lot of these sheep, they don't understand. Like even to maintain a civilization, you got to do certain things. If everybody would just get high, chilling, and everyone had all the money and everyone was just a lazy fat fuck and didn't do anything, then the civilization will actually fall because nobody's building, and the universe, the spirit, the reality doesn't like that. So it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
make it fall. So like this is
Yeah.
why everything has to always be building and growing to the next level and shit.
Yes.
I'm not
And
saying
like,
people should be working and shit because people
oh,
don't need like you can have a society and people don't need money and need to work, but it's a different type of society. But
yeah,
they just
absolutely.
got people thinking like it's this and you got to work and do that, but that's not how it has to be. There's different ways that run a society.
Good point. Good point. And like you said too, like you can't stay stagnant or like life or this reality will always end in a tragedy. This is why when like I don't know when breakups happen or car
Life
crashes.
life always ends in tragedy. It's just you want to make sure by the time you get to that point where it ends, you fulfilled your soul mission and purpose. Because the program life, it always ends in tragedy. Not just when you die, but like everything, like something decays. Like you have fruit and it gets old. You like a song and then it gets played out. You wear clothes that get dirty. You
Good
got to
point.
shower. Like
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Like everything. So it's a process of tragedy, and there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just telling you what it is. Anybody that's oh, it's not tragedy. Like what are you fucking talking about? I'm just saying what it is. I'm not saying tragedy is bad or good. I'm just saying it's part of this program, and life program is in tragedy.
Good point.
Everything you have, they even tell you part of life is accepting that. something isn't always going to be here, which is nothing wrong with it. But if you set yourself up where you haven't completed your soul mission and you're not fulfilling what's internal and non-physical, nothing to do with this reality really, then you're going to be in for dying in a hellish. You're not going to rest in peace. So you're going to end up coming back here because you died while not doing what you were supposed to do to fulfill your mission. And you have regrets because how you died and all the shit you didn't do and all the shit that went bad. And versus if you would have done your mission, none of that's going to fucking matter because you completed what you came here to do.
Good point. That's very like motivating too. Like I like how you mentioned that too. It's very motivating just to get your shit straight, you know, or to get your life stuff together. Very motivating. I wonder what it feels like. Like you mentioned, when you go on long periods of fasting for like 8 days. My bad for other questions. I have a lot of questions, but
are you good?
Good. You mentioned that when you do long periods of fasting, that you feel kind of high, like you know, like you feel a lot of bliss.
Yeah,
that's very interesting. And you mentioned that Kali Muscle. He kind of talked about it, like he felt.
Yeah, you do feel high because your mind is like, it's not like you're high, like you're not competent. But you're very focused and aware of your surroundings, like everything. Like imagine the contrast. You know how that TV to have a contrast of brightness. Imagine that shit getting turned up. Imagine like the volume, your ears. You're able to hear more. You're able to smell more. You're able to think a lot more. You're able to be more intelligent. Like a lot of that knowledge and the stuff that I get, like because there's levels to it. Like there's certain states that I haven't reached yet, and certain knowledge that I don't have access to yet because I haven't reached that level. Then as like I reach it, you guys will know based upon what I'm speaking on. Like what I'm speaking on now wasn't what I was speaking on years ago. So it's like when you go on these fasts, you're in a more heightened awareness and you start remembering what you forgot.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're high. It's like you're high in a way because it's like a certain feeling you get. It's I don't even want to say it's high, but you're just more aware and you feel good. And it's nothing to do with no drug. Like you're even if you have a fucked up stressful moment, it's like imagine like I'm not saying like imagine you're drunk and somebody told or you're high as fuck off a drug and somebody told you that some negative happened to you. Yeah, you're gonna be still affected by it, but you're gonna feel better while receiving that information compared to when you're not. So when you're on this path, I'm not saying you don't go through negative experiences, just those negative experiences, you're able to handle a lot more because you have like a strong foundation that can't be broken.
Good point. It makes sense why, because like at times when I'll fast, like the most probably like 2 to 3 days the most, and I remember I did feel good. Like I did feel like more at peace, I guess. I also feel more aware. Like I have faster reflexes and stuff like that. Sometimes it's kind of overwhelming because like when I was working, it's like, oh, like I'm able to like perform faster, you know, like a fasting.
Yeah,
Shit, there's a lot of results.
exactly. Yeah, and when you get to those higher days, like day 30 upwards, then that's when you start having like vivid dreams, like hella deep spiritual like dreams and communications and shit. It's weird. Like it's some good shit that like it's like it's shit's more spiritual.
Yeah, it takes a lot of discipline. This is good. It's a good life routine, you know.
Yeah, you can get that like
discipline.
To be honest, like I feel like you could be a breatharian because the fact that you already did it. You just gotta stay focused, but I can tell like because it's not built for everyone, but I can tell you got it in. You just gotta keep doing the routine and the practice, and you can do that shit because you can get to that. You just gotta build yourself up to that point. Like don't try to do like 30 days just straight. It's not gonna happen. Like me, I didn't just do 30 days or 40. I didn't just do that. I had to build myself up like. For like a year straight, I didn't do anything over 10 days. Or no, for like 6 months, I didn't do anything over 10 days. Then I remember I did around 10 days, and I was doing like 7 days for like every other week and every fucking other day. And I do 3 days here. Some days I do 12, and then
That's
one day I
good.
just like let me just do
So pop.
20, and then I did 20, and then like let me do 40, and then I did
Yeah,
40, and then like you
let's get
you build
disciplined.
yourself up because your body gets used to it.
Good shit, man. So yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much,
Yep.
Sean, for making me join your live, man. I appreciate the knowledge, man. You are the best, man.
Yep, for
Anything great.
sure. Yep.
You're freaking hilarious. I
Yeah,
enjoy watching your
man.
stuff, man.
Shit.
I try to share your content too with your like Twitter and stuff like that. Just spread your information.
Oh,
It's
for
good
sure.
content, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys can like and share the content, that'd be good, man. Like for
Yeah.
real. That's some. That's what's up.
Yeah. I showed some to my coworkers too, like they'll laugh because like you're so funny and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
they like your stuff too. All right, man. Take care, man.
All right, then,
Good shit,
man.
bro.
Yep. You too. Yep. But yeah, man. I probably gotta end this shit right now. Go in. This was a good little build. Damn, 2 hours. I'm about to end this shit at exactly on the 2 hour mark.